How you doing, family? Okay. I want to thank you for uh, watching the video and welcome you to my little den of peace, strength, wisdom, knowledge, and facts. Today I want to talk about, well, first I want to introduce that I have a new microphone and I'm constantly working on creating a better environment where the presentation is a little bit better each time. That's always been my goal. Okay, and I want to apologize for any roughness or unprofessional appearances, in my prior videos. I'm totally new at this. We're all us YouTubers are that are new at this are having to learn about lighting and sound and getting better equipment so that we sound as best as we can for you guys. And it's a lot of fun. Don't get it twisted. It's actually a lot of fun, and I'm really enjoying putting on these videos. What I want to talk about today is is more of a reminder that September is here. Today's date is September 29th, 2020. And the presidential debates are going on as we speak. Efforts are being made to dislodge the latest white supremacist. They always have one every other day. Every other election, they always have one of them come in. And this is all in an attempt to fight equality. They hate equality. And they'll just lie, cheat, and do whatever they have to do. So that's something we just learn to live with. And my goal is to help you to develop a system where you can experience peace, joy, happiness, and strength within a sea of turmoil, ignorance, and walking dead people. My goal is to wake you up so you're not one of the walking dead people. And I say walking dead, but I mean a spiritually dead people. And that's why in their Bible, that's what they meant by people would be dead before they hit the ground. I remember when I used to go to church, I did 7 years in their Christian brainwash system. And I used to see little nanites of truth in their Bible where they would make a mistake and let a little bit of truth slip through. And they would say things like, people would be dead before they hit the ground. And I remember that always stuck with me. And it wasn't until I got into spiritual culture, and I mean for many, many years. I was in spiritual culture probably a good 5, 6, 7 years before I realized what they meant by dead. It's not a physical death. It's a spiritual death. When you pass the first 2 stages or 3 stages of physical development, which is from birth to 21, and in stages of 7, and there are 5 of them that go all the way up to 35. When you're in those first 2 or 3 stages, it is very important that you are taken under the wing, or you are picked up by some guide or teacher. And in the African tradition, we call them babas. Some of them are called babalaos, but those are more ritual priests. They're not educational priests. And for this life, you need an educational guide. I don't like that word priest because it has negative connotations because of all the crap that's going on. But basically what you need is a guide, somebody who will wake you up and tell you the things that I have told you in the last movies, and that's going to be in my book. um, um, the anatomy of existence and the power of belief. Okay, but the most important thing I want to bring up to you now is that we're in September, and this is the beginning. If I may have up here one of my cycle posters, signs that it demonstrates the different cycles. How you go from down here is where we're not here yet. We're more over here. We're heading in September, so that's like right at about 3 o'clock. Okay, we've passed Summit, which is 12. Then we get August, and so we're at September. All right, so we're going to go September, October, November, December. And December is like the equinox, the maximum of the low energy periods of the cycle. But the key thing to remember is starting in September, you want to start formulating your visions and your thoughts, and do your meditations and do your visions. And I was using the music you heard playing when I first came on. This music is what they call frequency music, that is designed to, on a subconscious level, help to heal and awaken and stimulate that part of your subconscious that allows you to manifest the things you want. And this is a process. There's, unfortunately, if you've been watching television and you are brainwashed by the white supremacy system, which is the television, which is the religion, which is simulating into their culture. Some aspects of their culture is good. It's not all bad. I would say that there is quite a bit of the Eurocentric white supremacist culture that has been developed over time and is still in the process of improvement. Hopefully it will improve before it totally collapses. But for the most part, it's something you really want to stay away from. You need to stay away from those folks. Pick the scientists, the people that are really... Scientists tend to not focus on white supremacy. They tend to be kind of neutral. If you're smart and you're a scientist and you're dedicated to science and scholarship, you're going to find these people who happen to be white, for now, until they stay out in the sun a little while, and they're going to go right back to black. Or they will become something different, which is what this whole journey is about. Constantly evolving to be different, but always moving toward becoming better. Maybe as we begin to intermarriage and intermingle and with these people, a lot of the imbalance, because they're mostly left side. So with them, they need right side melanin in their system so they can become more balanced. So when you're in September, you want to stay away from these people as much as possible and isolate yourself from the television, all of the politics. I've already voted by mail. I'm going to drop that off. So I'm no longer paying any attention to the politics because there's nothing I can do about it. So that frees my emotions. It frees me up from all of the babble and all of the nonsense. It's all a waste of time. Voting is very important, and I will always vote. I'll never vote for a Republican ever, as long as I live. But I will always vote. And it's important that we must vote because you're paying taxes. If you're paying taxes, you must vote, because that would be you're being taxed and you're not getting representation, and that's like stupid. That's like, you're paying money and you're not getting anything for it. I mean, that's stupid. So, getting back on topic, so it's very important that you isolate yourself during this. It's a 6-month period, and you won't be able to totally isolate yourself, but you have to be mindful of the I am statements. This is the period when because you're sowing, so you got to be very careful, like, stumping your toes or forgetting something and say I'm stupid, or I am a moron, or I effed up, or I'm no good, I'm such an idiot. You want to avoid saying those kind of things repeatedly. If you say it once in a blue moon, no big deal. And that's another thing. Nothing that is going on here is but so serious. Well, for me, it is, because I have been practicing this for over 40 some odd years. But for you that are just starting out, you got to do what I call snap, sudden, natural adjustment of personality and perspective. And so that means you got to go the extra mile to do extraordinary, because you have an ocean liner. If you've been in this vehicle and you did not know that you are not the body form vehicle, and you are the watcher looking through this vehicle form and experiencing emotions and sensations and things through taste, sound, smell, sight. These are all sensations that are registering on this vehicle, not you. You are picking up those sensations because you have your hand, you're in this vehicle. So those sensations are transferred to you. Okay? So what you have to do is try to really detach yourself from form during this period of time. You're going to see things going on and happening, and you have to go back into what Eckhart Tolle teaches best. You have to go back into your microcosmic self, which is the consciousness, the very consciousness that that picks up on all of these sensations. In other words, you have to identify with consciousness and draw away as much as possible from identifying with this form and these feelings and taste and all this stuff. Because it's time for you to kind of regroup. And that's why you fall asleep every night, because God has set it up. The order is set up that every night and every so many hours you must detach from this vehicle. Okay? You must detach, because that's when you're rejuvenated. Remember, you're a microcosmic aspect of God. So because of that, you're micro. So all of your powers are micro, smaller than the macro. Because in order to fit in this form, you had to shrink the powers down so that it would fit in this form. And that's just the way it was set up. Okay? So now you're in this period now, so it's very important that you stay focused like a laser beam on what you see yourself having in the now. You have to visualize it, meditate on it repeatedly, and draw in all the emotions, the smiles, see the faces of your whoever the other person that you're sharing this experience with, who you plan to share your wealth or whatever accomplishment you plan to achieve. You want to see every micro element of that in your vision, crystal, laser sharp, clear, with the emotions, and you're going to repeat this over and over and over again for the next 6 months, twice a day, 5 minutes at the very least, 5 minutes. And then you have the rest of your day to do whatever you want. But in the course of your day, you want to also pop into that vision, go into your dark space. And I want to also talk about this new setup that I have here. And the reason I'm using black is because the camera that I'm using will not illuminate if there's too much white in the background. Darker skinned people appear to be really, really black, because these cameras automatically try to favor lighter skinned people. That's the way they were calibrated when they made them. They were made by white people. Okay, so that's just the way it is. So in order to allow African Americans and people with darker skin, we have to put black behind us. Then our skin will appear lighter than the background, you know, and the camera will adjust itself so that the skin will be a normal tone. Okay. For whiter people, they would want a white background because then it would darken their skin. It would make them look like they're darker. Okay. So it's very important that you focus like a laser beam on what you see yourself having repeatedly every day. Most of you who are just starting out, I would suggest you do the research on fasting. I would not fast more than 3 days. And I typically do juice, water, and salads. If I'm going to do any substance, I would do salad. And you might be able to cheat and put a little bit of white, very white cheese now, because you want white cheese because it has nothing in it. Anything that's white is basically empty of just the bare bone nutrients you need to give you some substance to keep your system going. The yellow cheeses it won't kill you, but it's just better if they're white. Just so you want you want the least amount of things in your food that's going to cause your system to distract from allowing all these energies in your body to focus on that vision. One of the things I haven't talked much about, I just kind of bros over it, is the body vehicle. I already talked about the instinctive intelligence that you are constantly have to control and work with. It's a harmonious relationship. It has to be a give and take relationship. It is not a dog-eat my way or the highway only scene. It's not about that. That's why we were put into this vehicle to have. This vehicle provides the structure and the resistance that an infinite being needs in order to develop a perspective. Because without a backstop where that energy can hit and then hit walls all around, which is inside this vehicle, this skin provides a wall for the infinite energy that's coming into it to finally stop now and be able to become micro. And as a micro being, you then get awareness that comes after that. And the awareness allows you to have the illusion of being separated from macro. And that's what macro wants. Macro wants to not know. Macro wants to have the illusion of not being able to create whatever it wants. It just wants to have that because otherwise it's just monotonous. Okay? Macro wants to experience time. Okay? And the only way only way macro can experience time, this is my theory, is in a form vehicle. And that's why you see forms, animated forms, and inanimate forms all over the place, and it's only going to get bigger. Because an unlimited being is expressing itself through multiple, endless number of forms. That's what you were born into if you're young. And I'm telling you, you don't have to believe me. I'm telling you to go out and do your own homework. Do your homework. Do your own homework. Double check what I'm saying to you with Professor Kaba. Okay? And I'm going to segue off the meditation talk, which is really what this entire video is primarily going to be on. But I'm going to touch on some other things that I've been And I've done some videos on that I think are relevant on other levels. This is going to be like a, a multifaceted video. And as I said to you before, I'm going to focus more now on economics, on financial. Okay, we're not going to do too heavy on the meditation. I'm going to go over it. The meditation and the cycles is something you're going to have to stick with that cycle thing 24/7, nonstop. Everything is cycles. So it's up, and do your homework. Go out and do your own research and study on cycles. Do your own research on frequency. Brother Philippe Matthews, I have decided that I'm going to take on 3 Babas or guides to help me develop a curriculum for the young people that are going to be a part of my Oasis project that I'm going to put together once I hit the lottery, and or if my stocks continue to grow as they are. And I want to also tell you, whew, my stocks are doing outstanding. We got that going on, y'all. And I invite everybody to come and join our family and friends. It's a very exclusive group, and everybody ain't invited. This is for the family, okay, and my personal friends, okay. We ain't giving everything away, but we're doing excellent. We have our funds have grown over 2,000% from the day I started. And what that number winds up being, you would not believe. It is a massive number. And in all my 30 some odd years of doing stock investing, I'd never seen anything like this. So we made out very well. We'll talk about that. What I also want to make a declaration today, I've decided that I'm going to take on 3 Babas. The first and foremost is going to be Professor Kaba Khomeini, the writer of this book. And I'm going to keep saying this until the day this vehicle ceases to work. What Professor Kaba has done for black people in this book is nothing short of giving us our very own black Bible. And I'm coining that phrase. I'm going to push this. And I'm owning this. I'm coining that phrase. This is my Bible. And it's designed for black people to counter the white man's Bible, which is a complete, plagiarizing of the African history that is the only true history. And all the other histories are built off of that. And all the sciences and everything that they're using comes from African culture, African science. It's all African because there were no white people. When the sciences were created, there were no white people. There were no mutated black people who call themselves white. There are no such thing as actual white people. Everybody is a shade of black. Just like in graphic design, and I'm a graphic design artist and a photographer. Been doing it for over 20 years. And there is no color that does not come out of black. No color. Okay? So I'm declaring this as the first black Bible. And when you read this book, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. I defy anybody to try and read a single page in this book and tell me they understand exactly everything they're talking about without having to stop and meditate. And I have tried, and I've been doing this for 40-something years, folks. And I'm going to tell you, this book that Professor Kaba put together, there is no way in hell that he did this alone. There is a spiritual or some kind of deep, divine intervention going on here. And he's never said that. I'm saying that based on what I'm reading. And I've been reading a lot of books. And I have never read anything that comes close to this. This is a Bible. This is a Bible. Okay? So I beseech you, I don't know how to say. Anyway, I beseech you to get this book and start reading it. In the beginning, they get into a lot of historical, archaeological, and linguistic ologies and whatnot, research and fact-finding and correlations, okay? I personally went to the back part because I'm really more interested in the metaphysical parts of it, where Professor Kaba gives his thesis on the cosmology as it comes out of Africa, as it was born in Africa and comes out of Africa and spread throughout the diaspora and formed all of the Eurasian theologies and cosmology. Was all based on the first cosmology, which is African cosmology. And cosmology is the study of the beginning of all things. You have to go to Africa to get that. Okay? I've also done I'm starting to do a little more research on Pangea and the fragmentation of Pangea long before human life existed, to try to go as far back to the beginning as possible. That's a personal thing for me. You guys can pick your own little area you want to talk about. But me, the reason I'm doing these videos is because it is so vitally important that you understand what you are. Because you are a what before you became a who. You don't become a who until you come into one of these forms. This form is a who, and you're riding around in it. Okay? You have to understand that. That's how this works. Okay? And that is so vital. You have to know this, folks, because if you don't, you will mistake that yourself as being this vehicle. You will mistake and think that you are the thoughts and be discouraged and create anxiety and confusion because you are unable to control the thoughts and the emotions that are triggered. So you have to learn the two types of thoughts. The thoughts you project and the thoughts that are triggered by a reaction, which is called a reactive thought. See, you have to know the difference between those two. And you want to spend, as I repeated, as I've said in my other videos, you want to be projecting thoughts as much as possible. And control all of your reactions to the reactive thoughts. And your center is always going to be that you are God having a human experience. That's your center. The microcosmic being is you. Okay? The who you are riding in is this vehicle, and my mom called it Russell. I've renamed myself on Google Bantu Morpheus. I decided to do that because I want to. And you change your name and do whatever you want because that's your life, that's your body. Your mother gave birth to you, but now you're 21, you're 18, whatever it is, that's your body. I want you to get in the habit of defining everything for yourself. And you don't need no damn permission. You don't need nobody's permission to do that. You decide what you want to be called, and everybody got to get in line. And I want you to get in the habit of that because I want you to get in the habit of taking charge and stop letting outside sources define you. The first thing you got to learn to do is define yourself. That's why I decided to change my name to the public. And the beauty of the internet is you can become whatever you want. Most people now, they call it an avatar. You can be your avatar name. You can even change the image of your avatar online. You can make it a tiger. In my case, I would make it a panther. If I decided to pick anything, it would be absolutely be a black, light brown-eyed panther or a lion. That's the image. I love cats. I always have loved cats. Always. That's just the way I am. My person. That's where my person is. My person is what my person is. Okay? Person is my vehicle. My form. This is the human form that I am in. Human form. Hue. H-U-E. Every human on the planet calls themselves a human. I don't know what language they may say it in, but mostly everybody calls themselves humans. Why? Why did they pick? Why did people just say a man? White people came up with this one. Why did they call themselves human? They could have said clear man. No man. They chose to use the word hue. They did that. See? Because in their ignorance, they didn't even know they were admitting that they're talking about black. Colored. Hue in graphic design means color. So the word human means colored man. Okay? That's just the facts. Now, that's the form vehicle. Okay? You, the microcosmic being, when you came together with this form vehicle, you developed what they call a personality, which is a blend of the microcosmic being and is a blend of the two intelligences. The intuitive intelligence, which is developed and comes and is the microcosmic expression in its individuality, in its perspective. And it's slammed up against this form vehicle, which has an instinctive intelligence. And the two of them come together to create what you call a personality. Okay? A personality. A person and an individual, being. Okay? And what I love about the English language is at certain points, and it's not always this way, but at certain points of it, the word, one single word is telling you so much. They can't even lie about some of this stuff. It's just, because in their ignorance, when they were crawling around and they first got given soap and taught how to stop eating each other and doing nasty, filthy things, the Africans that ran into them would teach them a little bit and then run like hell because they didn't want to be around because these were really, the ice did a number on these people, and they were not the kind of people you wanted to be around, So they would drop a little bit and get the hell out of Dodge because they could see that was so much work. It's going to take hundreds of thousands of years to get that together. And that's what they were dealing with. So when they taught them how to speak language again, whatever they were speaking when they came out the caves, and they were mutated now. Eyes were all light, hair stringy, stink, smell like wet chickens, skin white, teeth rotted out because they were eating raw flesh all the time. Didn't even cook the stuff, you know. So if you look at the movie Lord of the Rings, that creature, I forget what they call him, and he was eating raw fish and stuff like that. Teeth were. That's what they look like when they crawl out the cave. That's why they made the movie. They didn't make it for us. Black people, that's for sure. They didn't make that for us. Wasn't no black people in that movie. Maybe one token. They always have a token. But, you know, that's white supremacy. That's how it works. It's ingrained in their DNA. It's going to take hundreds of years to get that out. That's why slavery and segregation only ended 55 years ago. You ain't going to get that out in no 55 years. That thing went on for 450 years. And they're still doing it now, so it ain't over yet. It's going to take a good 200 years. This filthy thing they got in D.C., that's going to be ongoing for a long time, folks. I'm telling you right now. So that's why we got to separate, you know, the righteous. You got to separate yourself from these people, you know. And there are the good ones. You find a couple of good ones like Eckhart Tolle, you know, and Batalora. You know, these are Jane Elliott, mostly women. The really good ones are women, you know. They're the ones that are really trying, they're on the frontier and they're really working to try to rebalance themselves. And a lot of them have found and awakened. See, because even white people can wake up, and they have woke up and they realize, oh my God, I have been exploiting and taking advantage of something that I have not earned. And by me doing that, I'm perpetuating a system that is imbalanced and horrific and murderous and desperate to exist, which it will always exist, and it will become a new form. But the desperation and the diabolicalness of desperation to hold on to things that is insane. Because when you understand your oneness with all things, why do you try to cling to the temporary that is here today and gone tomorrow, when you want to bond with and identify with that which is eternal, which is what you are? And that's why you must be awakened and reminded that that's what you are. And the moment you really become self-actualized and self-realized, you don't want to, you know, you still have to do your meditations because you're in this form vehicle and you're here to experience what this form vehicle brings. So that's why I want to help you to keep this in perspective. Don't go into a brutalizing of the form vehicle and mentally thinking about it in a way where it is some lowly thing that you don't really have to respect. But that's like, why would you do that? Why would anybody want to slash the tires of their own car? Why would anybody want to let their car run with no oil? And then without the car, they can't go anywhere. Now you're just trapped in a dead vehicle and you can't move. And you're stuck there until the vehicle expires. You might as well take a gun and kill yourself and start over. Kill your person and start over. See? But don't take this stuff too serious. At the end of the day, this vehicle is going to go. And when this vehicle goes, your mama, your brothers, your sister, your wife, your kids, the memories of all of that, which is what you are here to enjoy. Enjoy. They didn't say outjoy. They said enjoy. Because the sensations are coming in to you. Okay? And that's what you're here to do. And so what I'm trying to my efforts here are designed to help you to enjoy life better by putting all the pieces in place and in proper perspective. And the main thing you got to always remember is that when things get really crazy and totally out of control, that's when you have to sit back and say, so, okay, enough already. I'm not going to take this that serious. Because when push comes to shove, listen here, none of this stuff is permanent. And whatever happens to this vehicle right here, it may come a situation where I need to sacrifice my vehicle to save my kids. See? My grandson and my son? Oh, nobody bet not. Oh, they bet not. See, because with my understanding, I have no problem leaving. I'll leave as long as I protect my kids. I'll leave because let me tell you, I don't know about the rest of you folks, but I have had so much fun. I have had such a phenomenal experience and lifetime where I don't think there's very many things that I have not experienced. I've had made over $1 million in my lifetime already. So I've experienced exceeding wealth beyond what the average African American or black person experience. I've been blessed to wake up when I was 22. That's the most precious gift of then the money is nothing. But to become aware that you're an unlimited being that can't die, to be freed by that awareness is the most precious gift that anyone can have. And everyone is supposed to get that. That's your basic human right. You can't die. You cannot die. This vehicle can expire. Look at the leaves on the tree. The tree stays alive. The leaves go every season. They fall off. New ones bud. You see examples of this cycle everywhere. And since we're all connected, there's only one God. The same energy that's coming through me and manifesting as a microcosmic spirit that is riding within this human form vehicle is the same unlimited energy that's flowing through everything you see in existence. See, when you understand this fundamental oneness of all things, nobody can jive you. Nobody can jive you. You're untouchable. And the reason why I did this movie is for that very reason, that you have got to understand that this is not a competition. And I felt so bad for my older brother who passed away a few years ago. One of the things that tortured him more than anything else, he had this extraordinary ego where he always felt like he was competing against everybody. Now, I don't know where he developed that concept from, or it's probably due to a lot of trauma that he experienced as a young child growing up with my vicious father, who's a vicious, evil, demented person who was made dysfunctional by trauma that he experienced by an evil, demented aunt who never wanted him. And that was genetically passed to my brother Bobby and my next brother Rodney. I'm the middle guy. My brother Tony, he didn't care about nothing. He's just having a party. We did more torturing on him and traumatizing him than he inherited from my father, because he was a baby. Him and my brother Carter really don't know nothing about no trauma, because that boy lived the life of Rowley all his life. He forget it. Youngest one, he don't know nothing about no trauma. Mama might have spanked him a couple of times. That's about most trauma he ever knew in his life. But I got some beatings by my mother, who she was traumatized, and that's the only way she knew how to discipline. Ironing cords, beating you to the strips of skin, beat you for minutes, 5-10 minutes, beating you depending on how angry she was. These new kids, my son, they don't know nothing about no beatings. They don't call it a spanking. It is a beating, because that's what the slave master did to their enslaved Africans. They beat them, they lashed them. And that's the only thing these African Americans knew when I was born in 1956, in segregation here in the belly of the beast, which is Florida. To this day, the crackers that are living here are some of the most mean, vicious, filthy, corrupt to the core, that even their governor was busted embezzling money from Medicaid and Medicare. The governor, and then they turned around, they made that bastard a senator. That's how corrupt Florida is. And it's only gotten worse, because that filthy thing in D.C., they're busting him left and right for corruption, and he decided to get the hell out of New York because he want to go where corruption is rampant and accepted. So he moved to Florida. Need I say more? He didn't move to Alabama. He didn't move to California. He didn't move to North Carolina. He got property in Ireland, over in Germany, and Ireland, and different places over there in England. He got property. He didn't move down. Plenty of white people there. He called those the good places. Everything that black, he said, is a shithole. So why did he move here to Florida? Because this is where the filthiest of the filthiest live. Period. Full stop. Okay? You got to call a spade a spade. You got to call a spade a spade. All right? You got to call a filthy dog. If they bark like a dog, tail wag like a dog, quack like a duck, they duck. They dog. Okay? Now that's just your normal survival mentality. You don't lie to your own mind. When you see something, call it like it is. See, the church teaches them to pretend it's okay. I'm telling you, if you see something filthy, call it filthy. See, then you're calibrating your mind to deal with reality. Christianity teaches you to deal in fairy tale, mythology, happy talk, while they're sawing off your leg. You're supposed to be happy about that while they're killing your children left and right. No, it's really no white supremacy. It's just one or two. No, it's not. Because white people not dying like that. You gotta call it like you see it and stay steeped in reality. Once you get out your meditation state, I want you to get up, arm up, and kick ass and put the fear of God in the rest of them. Because you got to understand, you want your environment to be secure, you want your environment to be harmonious, then you think harmonious. But when one of them things come into your environment, be ready to take off their damn head. Because I'm going to tell you right now, them things, you looking for turn the other cheek and mercy, what that thing just got into office, and with Obama having been in there before him, they have decided that they are going to wipe out as many black people as possible. And you all can play games all you want. My son, my grandson, and me, we ain't going down. I'm telling y'all right now. But that's not where I live. When I go out into the environment and I have to leave my home, And my car, the moment I leave my home and my car, I'm in their environment. And that's the posture you have to take. You got to be ready to handle your business. And the way you really do it, like I've said in my other movies, when you speak to them, you be assertive and firm, and don't be skinning, buck dancing, and grinning, because this shit ain't funny. You got to let them know you're going to put your foot up their ass. If they come out their mouth wrong, they're not going to get 2 words out. They come out their mouth wrong, you jump right down their throat, and you tell them, listen, I'm not your damn child. You don't question me. You don't pay my taxes, and I don't owe you nothing. And after enough of us do that, them suckers will back down, because they ain't nothing but some cowards. That's why they attack you in 2s and 3s. Or they won't deal with you one-on-one. You can forget about that. Not going to happen. As soon as they see this dark skin, they immediately, a chill goes down their spine. They scared of you the moment they see you, because they know you're the first frequency person. You're the first human. You've never been mutated. They know that. You don't know that. That's the problem with black people. Y'all don't know what they know about you. Why you think they told you don't read? And then they give you the only book that is nothing but a damn lie, and tell you that's the only book you better get caught reading. Because we catch you reading anything else, we're gonna kill you. Now that's how it was before Civil War, which was only 100 years ago. Barely that. And then they still had another 100 years of back of the bus, which only ended 55 years ago. Eh? So it's important that we get it together, black folks, because we're playing catch up. We've been set back 400 years. And we've been stripped of everything we've ever known that helped us to be centered and understand our power as the first microcosmic beings. See, this is why I'm really heavy on this. And I want to get into that competition thing, because that's another one of those subconscious, filthy things that they have superimposed on you. And one of the reason why I'm going to chip away, I'm going to keep showing you different things. So you can, each one time I show you something, you take that out your game. You get rid of another piece of foul filth of assimilating. And that filthy thing even had the nerve to say that we should assimilate. My ass. We are not going to become like you. Why would the father follow the child? We're the father. They're the children. They're the newbies on the block. Just because, look at your kids. Your kids know how to work all these, some of these older people got kids. Oh, they know how to work all the technology and everything. And them kids swear they know everything, because they know all the new stuff. And that's cool. That's part of the evolutionary process. But you ain't going to have no child telling you what to do. Not at least not if you know you've educated yourself, you're familiar with with vocabulary, you've gone to college, you know how to read, write, comprehensive, reading, writing and reading comprehension, your vocabularies together. You don't allow, see, no child is going to ever be able to catch up to you, because they're younger than you. So they still got to, my kids, they're scared of me, because I know scholastic stuff. And as a technician in Verizon for 25 years, I've studied digital, broadband, fiber optic technology. They don't know nothing about none of that stuff. And on top of all of that, I'm an automotive mechanic. Been doing that for 17 years. These kids don't know nothing about that. They terrified of me. They scared when I come around and say, oh, Jesus, Uncle Russell come in, he going to start asking us to think and articulate and focus. And then on top of all of that, I messed around and met Kaba. Now, my kids are in big trouble. Because I'm going to put some cover on their behind. Ain't none of them going to be able to escape me. And they're going to be mad at me, and I don't give a damn. I want them to be mad at me as much as they want, because I'm going to give them this. And I'm going to lay it on them heavy. And they'll probably want to get the hell away from me. But before they pass on, they're going to see these YouTube movies. And the rest of the world, like Elon Musk, just recently did a whole presentation telling people about all the achievements that they have gained just in the last 6 months to a year. And these morons, the vast majority of the people in the world, are absolute morons because they have been educated by the American education system, which is designed to create morons. And then they have the gall to try to institute that filthy religion, which is a hodgepodge of absolute lies. And it makes you even stupider and superstitious on top of that. So now you stupid, dumb, and superstitious. And you got to beat all of that stuff back, folks. You got to wake up. And the only way you're going to wake up is I got to say brutal things to you, shock treatment. And like I said, I was leading to that is the other person that I'm taking on as my guru is Brother Philippe Matthews. Brother Philippe Matthews. I am posting his work everywhere I can. He is today's Jesus Christ. That's what he is. And there are a lot of us Jesus Christ-like people, even though the actual Jesus we talk about never existed. But as a person who is awakening the dead, he has put together one of the most comprehensive systems that I have ever seen. So I don't know how or why, but I'm just grateful that I did run into this brother and Philippe Matthews, and the both of them are the new tag team. The first tag team I had and who taught me was Dr. Leonard Jeffries and Professor James Smalls. Those have been my gurus, and they still are my gurus. I am what I am because of those two men. And because they gave all of us, Dr. Jeffries gave us this book right here. Okay? And y'all got to get to this. You got to understand what's going on. And this book right here, this is the product of Dr. Jeffries. Cheikh Anta Diop. Everything that you listen to, you're going to hear. Everybody keep referring back to this brother. And the last brother that I'm going to take on as my personal guide is a brother who is 10 to 20 years younger than me. But he is one of the most brilliant linguists and thinkers that I have ever met in terms of detail. Like myself, he's deep into computers, but on a level that I haven't been able to achieve. And his name is Asar Imhotep. He's written about 8 to 9 books. Some of them make these books look like magazines. His books are so big and thick. The brother is such a prolific writer. But what I humble myself and I go to him and ask for his guidance is because he has mastered methodology, which is the process by which you discern truth from fiction. He does it on 3 different levels, linguistically, and 2 other levels that I can't even understand. The boy's so heavy. Brother's so heavy. You know, I tend to say boy because he's my boy, but, you know, it's that kind of, you know, every once in a while I'll slip and do something that's dysfunctional. And to call any grown man like that boy, but he knows what I mean. You know, we you know, we from the hood. You know, he's way more scholastic and articulate and in a classical educational sense than I am. I'm not. I only got a 2-year degree, college degree, and I'm strictly ghetto, urban, you know, self-trained, kind of a John Henry Clark kind of brother. But John Henry Clark is even better than I was. I am, you know. I just have read a lot of stuff, and intuitively, I am my what I offer to the movement and to the progress of our people and the resurrection of our people back into decency and goodness and power comes intuitively, based and it's been couched and guided through the pipe of this kind of spiritual training, and I'm still learning. I barely hit about 30, 40, 50 pages in this book, and I'm devastated. And a lot of times I can't read more than a half a page, and I have to put it down because it's hitting so many areas that I have intuitively learned and formulated my own theories on. And this book is saying things like having a human experience. This is the only, I thought that years ago, and I wrote it, but nobody else says that but Professor Carver. Nobody else says that about you being God having no human experience. Nobody else says that. Nobody else says that there's an intuitive intelligence and an instinctive intelligence, and the instinctive intelligence is connected to the form vehicle. Nobody. I'm still reading. I'm still researching. Maybe I don't read enough. Maybe, you know, I'll bump into it. You can't cover everything. This has been developed over millions of years. The Africans who developed these systems with systems you're looking at now have been refined and improved. And the best of what Africa offered showed up in Egypt. Okay? And that was thousands of years ago. So we got to learn the evolution from thousands of years ago when it was already damn near perfect. You know, we got to, and that was just the best that the Bantu and the Sumerians and the Moors and the Kushites, all these different people from East, and brother Asar Imhotep. I mean, he's exposed me to a level of micro detail about the linguistic and how to follow the origin of things through language and writing and artwork that I had heard before with Professor with Sheikh Anta Diop, but I learned it long before that in this book right here. All of these guys, Sheikh Anta Diop is just a step up from this guy. This is John Jackson. Chancellor Williams. When you read Chancellor Williams, but Chancellor Williams is before John Henry Clark, and Chancellor Williams goes back, and he tells you right on the front of the book. The man goes back, he covers the year from 4,500 BC. This Chancellor Williams. This is not, that's how long this stuff has been out, folks. We're playing catch up. And the best scholars out here are black, not white. In America, that's all you know is crackers. Trying to pretend that they actually know something. But they're masquerading. They're acting. They're putting on their performance. The real origin and the excellence, everything in this book is pointing to Africa. I ain't gonna even tell you. Shit, it's in the damn title, Africa. Okay? Check out the deal. Every single one of these books is all taking you back to the cosmological origin of all existence. And the first physical place that it shows up is in Africa. And everything is black. And when you look up in the sky, everything white is surrounded by black. Don't make us better, but it make us first. See, ego keeps you from trying to be better, because if you really understand the cosmology of existence, then you understand that there is only one force working through every single one of us. There is no such thing as a competition. Then you might be better at something. You might be better at basketball, better at swimming, better at carpentry, better at Scientology, better at linguistics, like Professor, like Asa is my junior, but he's way better than I am at linguistics. I definitely humble. When I get in the room with him, I'm gonna shut up, and I probably won't ask any questions because ain't no way I can ask a question because I haven't really fully understand what the brother's been saying. He's been doing this for a long time, and he is a laser beam. This is what he's been doing for over 20, 30 years. He's serious, brother. And I humble myself before all three of these brothers. Me and Professor Kaba are about the same age. He may be a little bit older than me. Philippe Matthews is younger than me, and of course Asar Imhotep is younger than me. But I humble myself to both of those brothers. See, because I don't have any ego to bruise. My ego is gone. My pet is in check. I pull my ego out when it's time to defend and to debate others that are on my level and lecture all the rest, as Dr. John Henry Clark says. I'm not going to tolerate any interruptions by no young person talking some foolishness and stupidness that they got from some damn Bible. And that is nothing but puppetry and mimicry. They don't really know what the hell they're talking about because there is no factual base in the Bible at all. Very little nanite of factual basis for anything in there. So the moment somebody starts talking to me about the damn Bible, I already know. Are you kidding me? I'm insulted that you would even dare to try to quote anything from that stupid book and come up against all of these facts, archaeological, linguistic, and backed up by even white folks are terrified of going toe-to-toe with Dr. Leonard Jeffries or James Smalls. Are you kidding me? And I wouldn't even, when they piss me off, because Dr. Jeffries, he's chill. We want Dr. Jeffries and James Smalls to just chill. Just sit back there and be elders and just let us bring you whatever the hell you want, because you already gave us solid gold when nobody else was fighting for a curriculum to make sure that black kids had somebody in that history lesson that they took that looked like the original people who started all of this stuff. Was Dr. Jeffries, Len Jeffries, and Professor Smalls, and Sashi McIntyre, and Professor Scobie. People that none of these guys, a lot of these guys don't even know, but Kaba knows them. I don't know if Philippe ever met them, or Asa ever met them. But he met a lot of people that they also knew. Asa Hilliard, uh, 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 Francis Cress Welsing, and then all the heavy hitters, the Egyptologists and stuff that go way back. They way beyond me. It's just so many. It's mind-boggling. But most black people don't know these people, and that's a damn shame. Because it's one thing that you go into their education system and you get brainwashed by them during the day. But that's like somebody slapping you down during the day. And then you come home and you stay on the floor, even though they're nowhere around. That's on you. That's why I'm telling black people, you got to start. You got to get this together. You got to do catch up. Okay? I'm running out of time. I don't want to go too long here. I've been already an hour and 11 minutes, so I've been going a little bit long here. But the one of the other things I want to talk about is the importance, I'm going to kind of recap the importance of avoiding competition. We're playing catch up. Black folks cannot be competing against other black scholars. This is not a competition. Even Asar Imhotep recently said, I watch his debates, if he put anything up, I'm on it. I'm on it. Because he's on the cutting edge. And he talks about this all the time. And a brother asked him, well, where should we go from here? And Asar introduced something I had never heard before. And he talked about how Sheikh Anta Diop went through this. Trying to be a master of all these different trades, when the problem is that we need to let the linguistics do the linguistics. We need to let the archaeologists do the archaeology. We need to let the cosmologists do the cosmology, which is Professor Kaba, and he does more than that. He takes it to even the next level and brings you into current reality and attaches and shows the correspondences in all the different cultures and religions and whatnot. So that's why he is like a Jesus Christ, more or less. Philip Matthews is a master of marketing and passive income, digitology, and he is a master at the analysis of trauma and the impact of it on black people, to the point where now he is comfortable with saying to black people that there is nothing wrong with you. And he's 100% right about that. Something happened to you that knocked you off your game. And this thing that happened to you is genetically passed on as many as 3 generations, which is 75 years. That's a long time, folks. That's a long time. And if you haven't been therapeutically corrected, it's only going to get worse. And that's the problem with the enslavement process that these crackers put on us. They never healed us. And how could they? Because they're already brainwashed. They're stupid, and they're into this damn Christianity, which is a complete lie and brainwash. But look, hey, they benefit from it. White supremacy? Come on. So they're worse blinded than we are. But we know white supremacy is a lie? They don't. So they got to get beat back that. Then they got to wake up and find out that all humans are connected by one God. They talk about it, but they don't believe it. Everything that works with the subconscious machine is about what you believe. What do you repeat? What do you feel in your marrow that you are? See, I know I'm already a multi-millionaire. It's just a matter of time for it to manifest in my world. And you know what? Since I'm an unlimited being, I can wait. I'm in no big hurry because I'm already in heaven. I am awakened. I know I'm God having a human experience, and I can't die. See? that guarantees me peace, tranquility, and harmony. I'm cool. I'm good. Because at the end of any situation, at any point, I can fall back in my godness and say, so, can't kill me. I give up my vehicle, so I'll be back. See, when you have that behind you, nobody can touch you. Now, will your adrenaline get to flowing in your body and your hands start shaking when you get angry? Sure. But that depends on the kind of person you are. That's what happens to me. Because of this vehicle that I was born in, that's the way it's chemically designed. That's the way it works. And see, I understand that about my person. This is my person. I understand that about my person. See? So I don't put too much on my person. I don't expect my person to try to be some monk. My person, I'm not a monk person. I'm a kick-ass person. I grew up in Edmore Projects up in the Bronx, and we kick ass. I wasn't raised to tolerate bullshit. Excuse my French, young folks. But that's how I am. See, y'all may be different. See, y'all may your vehicle that you were born into may be this humble, and that has its place. See, that may be what I don't expect you to be kick-ass when you humble. That's what you're supposed to do. And be what you're supposed to be. I don't want everybody to be like me. I want y'all to be what you're supposed to be. I want you to define yourself for yourself the way you're supposed to be. Okay? But just make sure it's you doing it. Make sure you're not buying into some con job. See? I got to get ready to go to the gym, so I'm going to have to wrap this movie up, folks. What I also wanted to do is share my screen with you, and I know I had given this to my kids in another. Why is that not available? That's crazy. Oh wow, I never saw that happen before. Oh wow. Okay, we got a problem here. I thought I would be able to share my screen, but for some reason I cannot. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure that out. Anyway, let me see what's available to me. Screen capture. Ooh. Oh boy. Nothing is available. Wow. That surprises me. Okay. I won't be able to do it. For some reason, I'm not able to share my screen with you in this video. Okay, so I won't bother to go into what I was going to talk to you about. And it was just a sideshow anyway for estate planning, which I've shared with my kids already anyway. I gotta get ready to go to the gym. Anyway, let me see what this is allowing me to do here. Oh, wow, that's crazy. Okay. I gotta figure that out. That's the first time I've seen that happen. Okay, well that was, yeah. Okay, anyway. Okay, family, so I think we pretty much covered everything. I think I pretty much covered everything. The key thing was the competition. I want to make sure we want to move away from competing against each other. This is not a competition. This is actually a team effort. Everybody is you in another human form. That's the cliff note. You have to keep that in mind. Do your meditations. Focus when you wake up. Focus before you go to sleep. See whatever it is you see yourself having, do it repeatedly. Okay, family? And I'll see you in the next movie. One love.